How to start a conversation in English from espressoenglish.net. Do you have difficulty speaking English? Sometimes the hardest part is simply starting a conversation. Today, you'll learn expressions for starting a conversation in English in any situation, formal or informal, at work, school, or other contexts. With friends, you can use informal English expressions like these. What's up? What's new? How's it going? To reply to what's up or what's new, people often say something that has happened in their life currently or recently. You can also say not much if there's nothing to report. If someone says, how's it going? You can answer, great, good, or not so good, and then say why. With colleagues in the office, you use slightly more formal English, such as these. Hi, John, how are you doing? How's your day going? We're sure having a busy day today. Or, we're sure having a slow day today. Have you heard the news about? Have you got any plans for the weekend? Or, how was your weekend? You can talk about projects you're working on or about hobbies you have outside work. Current national and international news is also a good topic of conversation. How about starting a conversation with a friend who you haven't seen in a long time? Here are some common expressions to start a conversation with someone you see after a long separation. Hi, Paula. How have you been? Long time no see. So, what have you been up to lately? How's your family? Are you still working at ABC Company? In this case, you can ask about news in your friend's work, study, family, and hobbies. The friend will probably ask you about recent developments in your own life, too. How about starting a conversation at a social event like a party or a wedding? If you see someone you don't know, you can say, I don't think we've met. I'm Shayna. Are you from New York? So, how do you know Mary? Have you tried the chocolate cake? It's delicious. If you're at a party or wedding, you can start a conversation by asking how the person knows the host of the party or the people getting married. You can also comment about the food and drinks or about the music. Now let's look at phrases for starting a conversation at a conference or a work event. You can use that same line to greet a stranger who you'd like to get to know. I don't think we've met. I'm Shayna. So, where are you from? What did you think of the speaker? That was an excellent workshop. I learned a lot. How about you? You can ask about the person's job, what company they are from, and their opinions about the conference events. How about talking to someone who you were just introduced to? Of course, you can say, nice to meet you. You can also ask, how do you two know each other, if a friend is introducing a new person. Other good conversation starters include, so, what do you do for a living? That means, what is your job? If the person is introduced as a student, you can ask, what are you studying? Another good follow-up question is, how long have you been a journalist? How long have you been doing yoga? How long have you been interested in music? And how did you get into it? When you meet someone for the first time, you can ask casually about the new person's profession, interests, hobbies, etc. Their answers will then give you opportunities to ask more or share about yourself. It's common to start conversations with people who you meet outside in public places. Here are some phrases for that. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? It looks like it's going to rain or snow. Can you believe all this rain we've been having? Or snow. Sure is a hot one today. Or, sure is a cold one today. Just look at those flowers. They're amazing, aren't they? Your dog is so cute. What's his name? If you're in a park, on the street, etc., the most common way to start a conversation is by talking about the weather or the surroundings. Finally, when talking with a stranger, that's a person you don't know, in other contexts, the secret is to make a comment about the current social context. Here are a few examples of how to do this. At an art gallery. That's an interesting painting. What do you think of it? At a bar. This is a great song. I love Latin music. How about you? At a sports game. Wow, that was a great play. So, who's your favorite player? At a cafe. Boy, do I need a coffee. At a concert or event. What a great turnout. Have you ever been here before? At a playground. My kids are sure full of energy today. You don't need to ask a direct question. You can simply make a comment to the other person, and this is like an invitation for the other person to comment too. This can then begin a conversation, and we'll learn more about how to continue the conversation in our next lesson. If you want to learn the phrases you need for situations in day-to-day life, take my Everyday English Speaking course. You can click on the link in the video for more information. How to continue a conversation in English from EspressoEnglish.net. Here's an example of how not to have an English conversation. Did you have a good weekend? Yes, I did. And you? Yeah. Unfortunately, the conversation stops here because there's no natural way to continue it. You have to think of a new question. This is okay if you only want to have a quick conversation. For example, if you are quickly passing a coworker in the hallway. But how can you have a longer conversation in English? Today, I'm going to teach you 3 keys to continuing a conversation. The first one is to ask questions that start with question words, like who, what, when, where, why, and how. Try to avoid yes or no questions, because yes or no questions can be answered with a very short answer, yes or no. But questions that start with question words will bring out more information from the other person. For example, if you ask the other person, "How did you spend your weekend?" then they will start talking about the activities they did. The second key to continuing a conversation is this. In each of your answers, give 1 or 2 details that will help continue the conversation. You don't need to talk for a long time, so it takes the pressure off. The third key is to talk about these topics: family, interests and hobbies, sports, TV, movies, music, popular culture, current events, travel and interesting places, and your experiences or the other person's experiences. Unless the other person is a very good friend of yours, avoid topics like politics, religion, sex life, health problems, and personal finances. These are considered topics to be discussed only among very close friends or family members. Here are 2 example conversations. Notice how each person adds 1 or 2 details, and then there is a follow-up question about the details. Conversation 1. Hey, how was your weekend? Pretty good. I went to a baseball game with my brother. Really? Who was playing? The Yankees and the Red Sox. We're huge Yankees fans. Yeah? How was the game? Very exciting. It was tied until the last inning when we won 2-1. Ha, that's great. I can't say I'm a baseball fan myself. I prefer basketball. Basketball, huh? Playing or watching? Both. I've played basketball since I was a kid. No kidding. You must be really good. Well, I just play for fun. It's a great workout. I bet. I could use more exercise myself, but I don't think I'm cut out for basketball. I was thinking of joining a martial arts class. That sounds interesting. Which one? So you can see how the conversation goes from the weekend to baseball to basketball and then exercise and martial arts. Each person just gives one or two details and then the follow-up question kind of comes naturally. Here's another one, conversation number 2. This conversation takes place in a park. What a beautiful day! It feels like summer. Sure does. I can't wait for the summer. We're taking a big family vacation in June. Oh, where are you going? We're going to Colorado for a month of hiking and camping. Have you ever been there? Yes, I've actually been to Denver twice on business trips, but they didn't involve any hiking. How about you? Any special plans for the summer? No, not really. I'm saving up my vacation time for December when I'm going to Costa Rica. Wow, why Costa Rica? Well, my best friend from college lives there now. She owns a hotel, and she invited me to spend a couple of weeks there to escape the cold winter weather. How wonderful! Do you speak any Spanish? Barely any, only what I remember from classes in high school. Again, it's easy to keep the conversation going when you ask about the other person's plans and experiences. I think it's great to learn spoken English from conversations, and in my Everyday English Speaking course, you have that opportunity. You'll read and listen to a dialogue, and then I'll explain the phrases and expressions. Click on the link in the video to take a free sample. How to end a conversation in English from EspressoEnglish.net. Sometimes you're in the middle of a conversation, but you want or need to get out of it. How can you end the conversation without being rude or awkward? Well, here are 2 keys for ending a conversation. The first one is to smile. Be friendly when ending the conversation, so the other person knows you enjoyed the conversation and doesn't think you're ending the conversation because you're annoyed or because you don't like the person. The second key is to make a positive comment, then say you need to go, or give a reason for ending the conversation. Let's look at some examples. Hey, it was nice talking to you, but I've got to run. Okay, no problem. Have a good one. You too. Bye. You can see that there's a positive comment, it was nice talking to you, and then the phrase, I've got to run. That means I need to go. So I give a positive comment and then say that I need to leave. Here's another example of an informal way to end a conversation. Well, I'd love to keep chatting, but I have to head out. My yoga class starts in an hour. Oh, enjoy your class. Thanks. See you later. Again, we've got a positive comment, I'd love to keep chatting, but then a reason for leaving, I need to go to yoga class. Here's one more. Thanks for the book recommendations. I'll definitely have to check them out. Anyway, I actually need to go pick up my kids from school. All right, take care. Notice how all 3 conversations use a transitional word like hey, well, or anyway to introduce the end of the conversation. How about some more formal examples, like at work? You can end a conversation at work by giving a summary of the conversation or the next actions to take. This gives the other person a signal that you would like to end the conversation and not continue talking. For example, okay, so I'll call the distributors while you prepare the contract and we'll touch base next week. Sounds like a plan. Great. Have a good afternoon. Thanks, you too. Bye. Here's another way to do it. You could wait for a slight pause in the conversation, then use this line. Anyway, I should get back to work. Or, anyway, I've got a few more things to take care of. This is an indirect way of saying that you have other things to do, and so you need to stop talking. And the other person will probably say, yeah, me too. See you later. Finally, here's a way to say that you respect the other person's time. Well, I know you're busy, so I don't want to keep you. That's okay. Nice talking to you. This is often used on phone calls when you want to bring the conversation to a close and you are expressing respect for the other person's time and saying that you won't keep talking to them forever. Let's finish this lesson with various ways to say goodbye. We have some ways that we use in both formal and informal English, such as bye or bye-bye, see you soon and see you later, take care, have a good one, have a nice day, and so long. And among friends and in casual conversations, we have some informal ways to say goodbye, like take it easy, catch you later, or simply later, I'm off, or I'm out, and finally peace or peace out. Again, these are more informal ways to say goodbye. If you enjoyed this lesson, check out my Everyday English Speaking course. It's designed to help you become a more confident English speaker by giving you phrases to use in daily life. Click on the link in the video to find out more about the Everyday English Speaking course and to register. Lesson 1. Phrasal verbs for romantic relationships. Let's learn the phrasal verbs from the dialogue. First, Emily says it looked like the guy was hitting on Sarah. To hit on someone is to say or do things that demonstrate romantic or sexual interest in that person. It's usually a combination of comments and gestures, as well as the way you look at the other person. Another way to say this is that the guy was flirting with Sarah. Sarah says the guy asked her out. To ask someone out is to invite the person to go on a date, a romantic encounter. We often say asked her out for, and then the activity. For example, he asked her out for lunch. He asked her out for dinner. He asked her out for coffee. He asked her out for drinks. He asked her out for a movie. Sarah then says she's not sure if she likes the guy, and she doesn't want to lead him on. This means to provide false hope or expectation to the other person. So, if she pretended to be romantically interested, even though she really wasn't, this would be leading him on. Emily then says that she and her last boyfriend didn't hit it off right away. This means they didn't have a special connection immediately. If you hit it off with someone, it means you like each other and you have great social connection from the first moment you meet. However, with time, she began to fall for him. The phrasal verb fall for means fall in love with. Sarah then asks why Emily and her last boyfriend split up. This means to separate, to end the romantic relationship. You can say split up or break up, and break up as one word can be used as a noun. Emily says that the breakup was because she and her boyfriend drifted apart. This means they slowly started to go in different directions over time. Sarah's last relationship was a nightmare, which means it was really terrible. It started when she hooked up with someone at a party. The phrasal verb hook up with someone can be used as a slang expression meaning to have sex with that person, especially someone you just met or someone you only stay with for one night. However, in Sarah's case, she stayed with the boyfriend for 6 months, when they were constantly fighting and making up. Making up means reconciling and restoring peace in the relationship after a fight. It was a difficult relationship, and Sarah says she doesn't know how she put up with him for so long. The phrasal verb put up with someone means to tolerate a difficult, annoying, or unpleasant person. The relationship ended when the boyfriend cheated on Sarah.
That means he was kissing or having sex with another woman. Sarah discovered him making out with his ex-girlfriend. Making out with means he was kissing her very passionately. The boyfriend wanted another chance with Sarah, but Sarah knew he was trying to jerk her around. That means to manipulate her or use her for his own advantage. So she broke up with him. She ended the relationship. Sarah asks Emily if Emily is going out with anyone at the moment. The phrasal verb go out with can mean to go out on a date with someone once, or it can mean to be in a relationship for an extended period of time. In this second case, we usually use it in the present continuous. So Sarah is asking if Emily is currently in a relationship. Emily says she isn't in a serious relationship because she's not interested in settling down yet. In this context, settle down means to be in a long-term, stable relationship. For example, getting married, having kids, and living a typical family life. You've now learned 16 phrasal verbs about romantic relationships. But wait, it's time for the most important part, which is to practice what you've learned. Scroll down to the bottom of this lesson and take the quiz to test how well you remember the phrasal verbs. Then do the writing exercise, where you can practice using the phrasal verbs in your own sentences. If you're already registered for the course, you'll get the next lesson tomorrow. If you're not yet registered, you can click the blue button under the video to join the course and get 29 more lessons on phrasal verbs in conversation. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.